Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Suzerain Rizia. I had my mic muted for the last minute, so I'm going to restart this again. So, there's been a Univist worker strike in the city. In RNO, workers across all industries have laid down their tools in solidarity, demanding an improvement to working conditions for everyone, regardless of profession. Reports indicate that former Rizian Royal Gold employee Ardafo Sotalato is behind these efforts, which is also impacted the RRG-run mines just outside the city. So we can either disperse the protest ourselves, we can let the business handle it, or we can promise better working conditions. Now, I don't think we can actually look at this while we're paused, unfortunately. I'm kind of leaning towards, like, we need to at least do something, I think, to not have everybody hate us. I feel like there's more clamor for reform than I would like in the country. And if I do nothing, I feel like that's going to be really bad. So at least, I think for at least right now, we'll promise it. Whether or not we actually get to it is a different question entirely. A strike organized by Univist workers have brought the city to a standstill. Now, after authorities seemingly allow the strike to proceed, its leaders are talking about establishing a proper trade union in the city, modeled after foreign examples. And also, public transportation on grade performance downgraded. Our public transportation system is facing a severe decline in on-time performance, with quality stagnating across rail, land, and sea services. Certain lines have ceased operation due to organizational challenges, causing inconvenience and dissatisfaction among the populace. Not too late to catch up. What can we actually spend our money on? We spent $1 on that. That's fine. So what's in the construction? Port and shipyard expansion, consumer industry park. I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's like a bad thing, because we're building up our truck depot now, right? Yeah, you're almost done. Sanctuary's almost done as well. The hydroelectric dam is also on its way. What else do we want to build? The hospital. More manpower. Future construction, cost-free authority. I mean, just having better healthcare, I think is gonna be good. It's cost $3. Honestly, that's not bad at all. So sure, we'll sign this law. Consumer industry. It costs energy when it's done. But I can't think until the hydroelectric dam is finished. I really can't afford to spend more energy. +1 military action points when completed. I have no idea what this even means. The logistical hub. But I mean, having one more action per turn, I mean, that sounds good. I don't know what it does. Cost $5? No, you know what? We'll save that until maybe the end. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. The construction of a new hospital in the center of Port Trezon is proving to be yet another example of King Romus' dedication to the health and well-being of the people. Thus, it is only fair that a new hospital will bear his name when completed. The state-of-the-art medical facilities will host a variety of specialists. Research labs in the hospital will enable the newest technological developments to be delivered to our people directly. Aside from civilian facilities, the hospital will also feature a large military wing to serve our armed forces. A new fleet of evacuation helicopters will quickly transfer wounded soldiers to the facility has also been ordered. We got a football match, desecration of the sanctuary, the printing scandal. There's actually a lot of stuff going on right now. Okay, what's going on in Kairut? The kingdom faces a strategic opportunity to enhance its global standing through significant media campaigns centered in Constantium, Kairut, known for being a hub of diplomatic activity and international lobbying. This initiative aims at to positively transform Rizia's international perception, leveraging its local location amidst the world's embassies and influential lobbies. You know what? Yes, let's do a massive media campaign. I honestly do think that's probably worthwhile. For the sanctuary, a group of atheist radicals have vandalized a sacred Versius sanctuary, destroying relics and defiling its walls with anti-religious slogans. The clergy calls for protection of religious sites and justice for those responsible, even as protest continues to grow. Let's call for unity. I think that seems like a pretty fair thing to do. And a printing scandal. A controversial printing house has released pamphlets critiquing the strict teachings of Das Nurdi, sparking outrage among the clergy. Protests are growing with demands to shut down the operation and confiscate the blasphemous materials. We can fine them for $1. Yeah, I'll charge him a little bit. $1 single does not sound too bad. In a response to recent unrest, the Crown has issued a financial penalty against the printing house responsible for the inflammatory pamphlets. Officials stated that while freedom of expression remains protected, deliberate provocation against sacred traditions must have consequences. The decision was welcomed by many as a balanced and lawful step towards restoring calm. And much progress has been made under King Romus, a definitive step up from his father Valerial the Frail. While he's only been on the throne for a few years now, we at Geopolitical are certain that the Golden Kingdom will continue to make great strides forward under his watchful leadership. At the current rate, Rizia is on its way to become a true example for monarchies worldwide, and could even convince the hardest Republicans that living under a king must not always be a bad thing. Very, very good. As long as you spend money to get people to like you, that's the same thing as if they have always liked you. My motorcade pulled up to the VIP entrance of the royal grounds of Monteclar, a unmarked blue door tucked discreetly around the corner of the main gates. Today's match was a friendly one, taking place outside the regular championship season. Its purpose was to raise awareness for polio vaccination. Still, it was between the Real Monteclar and FC Portrezon, the fiercest rivalry in Rizian football. So both spirits and tensions were high. As usual, Real Monteclar was the hands-down favorite to win, although both teams had put in an unnecessarily poor performances last season. Only Titus was accompanying me today. Mother and Pabel were presiding over a luncheon for the lesser Romburgian dignitary in Portrezon. Hugo declined to attend out of solidarity with his favorite team, Royal FC Valakir. As for Vina, she and Manus had opted to support the cause by visiting polio patients in Portrezon Hospital. We were welcomed at the entrance by the team's representatives and the head of the stadium security. After a round of introductions, they ushered us through a series of backed passages towards the Royal Tribune. Okay, well, I mean, you know what? Is there any threats that I should be aware of today, Titus? Don't worry, Your Majesty. We have the Royal Tribune under maximum protection. The only real threat I'm worried about is Shanlo Osima, Real Monteclar's new star forward. Okay. As king, I must remain impartial. You know what? As king, I must remain impartial. I shall cheer on both teams with equal enthusiasm. A difficult task. I do not envy you. We emerged into the daylight as the Rizian national anthem blared from the stadium speakers, announcing the king's entrance. Once my eyes adjusted, I saw that the stands were packed top to bottom with thousands of football fans. All of them were on their feet applauding me. I waved to the crowd. The cheers grew louder. Most of the guests in the tribune were House Cesaro nobles clad in Real Monteclar's blue and yellow. Isabella Lucetta front and center, next to a frail, hunched-over man in a wheelchair. It took me a moment to realize that was her father, General Tadius. Just as our eyes met, I was whisked away to my own seat just a few rows above them. The stadium attendant rushed to bring me refreshments. The facility here were a little outdated, but the historic atmosphere could not be beat. As I took in the view, I noticed a red-haired figure waving his way towards me. Let's see, row 5, seat 2, 3, here we go, best seats in the house. Rusty Montoro bowed hurriedly, before lowering himself into the seat beside mine. You know what? I wouldn't have taken you to be much of a football fan. Are you kidding, Your Majesty? I love it. Down there, no one gets a leg up because of what house they were born into or who their daddy is. Everyone has an equal chance to win big. The bell rang to signal the start of ceremonies. The spotlight shone onto the center of the field, where one of Rizia's leading polio scientists made an introductory speech. Towards the end of it, she spoke glowingly of the research potential of the soon-to-be Romus Toras Hospital. I rose from my seat to receive the crowd's applause. She concluded with a sincere expression of gratitude for the philanthropist who donated a record sum ahead of today's match, Rusella Montoro, via the Heart of Gold Foundation. Rusty politely stood up as the stadium's clapping intensified. You know, well done, Mr. Montoro. Lives will be saved due to your generosity. Not the life that mattered most to me. I have had a little girl, Galia. She caught the summer plague back in the 30s. Didn't live to see her first birthday. She'd be just about Princess Vina's age now. He wiped his eyes. Well, let's see. You know, the person I love most in the world was taken before her time too. I know exactly how you feel. I made a lot of enemies in my life. While losing a child, I wouldn't wish it on any of them. You know who's really been making breakthroughs and researching these things? The brainiacs at Harvard University Acacia. Our conversation was interrupted by a short brass fanfare. At the top of the stands, a group of spectators unfurled the banner reading RNC 54, Tradition and Our Goal. See, if Rizia paid as much attention to science as we did to this election, how about blue? Okay, well... Well, if there's an upset and RNC doesn't win, polio will be the least of our problems. Spoken like somebody who doesn't know how big of a problem polio can be. Over the stadium layout speakers, the commentator began reciting some statistics about the past season. Kickoff was still 15 minutes away. So regarding RRG, you're not really thinking of giving it to the strikers in Argno, are you? Well... I still want to cooperate with RRG. Words are just that word. Strikers movement will... You know, yeah, the Strikers movement will fizzle out before I have to deliver on my promise. Good, good. He sat back in his chair with relief. Unless there's too many of them to overpower. I'm guessing you've heard about their ringleader, Soltalato. Fancies himself as a regular Malidev Jr. You know, we need a distraction to lure the populace away from him. If we make enough money, you'll be able to afford all the distraction with enough that you want. A royal wedding, maybe? Seems like Her Highness would be a willing participant. He shifted his weight forward. You want my advice? Keep these folks reasonably happy. Give them a less objectionable cause to get behind, and they'll stop asking for so much. A cause like war. You know, wise words. I'll take them to heart. I never steered you wrong, Your Majesty. Our conversation was interrupted by the loud roar of the Tribune. The real Monte Clara players were jogging out into the field. In front of me, Lucidia sprang to her feet. The pitch! Our battlefield! I didn't say anything. The other Azarals in the Tribune completed their motto, our feet, our swords. As the team formed a line, Lucidia animatedly paced back and forth, nearly knocking over her father's wheelchair as he did so. Woo! You sure she's a duchess? I mean, yeah, she is. You know, the football pitch is the one place where a noble may carry on like a commoner. Ha! The great equalizer. He swiveled in his seat to face me. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, the future of our cooperation. Tell me, Your Majesty, how can we work together? Growing strength of our forest movement. I need you to neutralize it. You know what? Nothing right now. But I want your word that you'll get back to me in the future. Rusty calmly peered out at the field. Could do, Your Majesty. But it would help if I knew what you were asking me to back. I mean, we do need to maybe worry about the reformist movement for sure. Yeah, sure. I'll tell him. I'll tell him what I'm thinking. I'm worried about the growing strength of the reformist movement. I may need your help neutralizing it. Ah, I hear you loud and clear. I've got to say, I don't see anything wrong with letting Zazan's crew vent their spleens out once in a while. They can vent all they want, but as the opposition never is a majority. That spleen venting could have cost you millions in Neela's regulations if I hadn't stepped in, remember? Pretty sure Zazan had put the proposal forward knowing it wouldn't pass. He's a smart kid. Anyway, I've got the resources to help you take care of anybody you're worried about. Plus, it really comes down to it. I got friends in high places. He nodded towards the Tribune doors, whereas our Arcasian bodyguard Antion was standing with his arms folded. You know, what exactly are your connections to Arcasian ATO? He shrugged cavalierly. RRG has entrusted Arcasia with some of its most valuable patents. In exchange, Arcasians have taken it among themselves to assist in our personal security. Tit for tat. Let me get one thing straight. Your loyalties are to Rizia, not Arcasia. Oh, absolutely. Nobody loves Rizia more than me. That said, what I really want to know, Your Majesty, is what Rusty's place will be once the dust settles. It sounds like you have a position in mind. Well, now that you mention it, I was thinking of something along the lines of, I don't know, Counselor of Treasury and the Economy? Who's that now? That depends. Who's is that I don't even God, like Escabel? Is that who is currently the treasurer and economy guy? You know what? Very kind for you to offer, but a position is filled. At least let me apply. Elna Werner. Oh, Werner. Wait, what's Escabel's? Is he internal? I don't even remember off the top of my head. Don't get me wrong, she's a fine dame, but to her, numbers in her ledger are just that, numbers. Whereas for me, those numbers are my livelihood. I know that for millions of Rizians, they could be the difference between eating dinner and going hungry. And to put it delicately, your treasure is getting on in years. I wager investors and trade partners would rather deal with someone like me than a holdover from the Rizia era. You know, you make a good point, but council reappointments aren't for another few years. I'm a patient man. Your word's good enough for me. A whistle blew, and the players from FC Port Drazon began entering the stadium. The applause for them was as much more subdued than it was for their rivals. Somewhere behind me, Titus let out a loud whoop of encouragement. Almost time, Your Majesty. What do you say? Are we doing this? I don't trust Rusty like at all, honestly. Should I require your assistance, I will keep this conversation in mind. Good enough for me. And don't forget, by the way, your offer of a loan still stands. Now, back to what we're here for. On the pitch, the FC Pro Drazon players had finished lining up. The game was about to begin. The announcement came over the loudspeakers. Today's special guest, King Romus Toras, was invited to kick the game off. Titus, get me into the field. Rusty smiled approvingly as Titus helped me out of my seat. Did nobody tell me that I was going to be the first kickoff? In a blink of an eye, my guard let me from the Royal Tribune down to the ground level. I took my place right next to the two teams. Real Monte Clara to my left, FC Port Drazon to my right. The players stared at me in awe as their king was standing so close to them. The referee blew his whistle. I'll kick the ball forward. Monte Clara's midfielder immediately intercepted it and gameplay began. Titus approached us and swiftly escorted me off the field. Very well done, Your Majesty. That must have been a dream come true for you. Are you joking? That kick was shameful. You know what? Leave football to the footballers. My place is on the throne. I went back to my seat to watch the rest of the game. It ended up in a 1-0 victory for Real Monte Clara. But the results didn't count. The proper season had yet to begin. Excellent, excellent. So what do we got going on here? Meeting with Royal Council. That's looking at Plavo. Exile. I probably still want him exiled, to be quite honest. Expeditionary forces in civil war. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Special guest highlights of Monte Clara charity match. Yesterday's preseason charity match on the royal grounds was attended not only by His Majesty King Romus, but by many prominent nobles and celebrities. Among them, Duchess of Monte Clara Lucy di Azzaro and wealthy philanthropist Russell Mortaro of Rizia Royal Gold. Though Real Monte Clara walked away with a trophy, the real winners were our diligent medical experts, who were working hard to make polio a thing of the past. We urge all Rizians to open their hearts and wallets to aid this worthy cause. Well, exile. Reports from Monte Clara indicate that Arento Zenteno, a Golcondas cleric, was forcibly removed from a Virtuous sanctuary after attempting to pray there. This incident has stirred unrest among many Golcondas communities who are demanding recognition and assurances of fair treatment. Demonstrations have begun in Plavo and other towns. I'm going to call for respect and harmony because, you know what, I am a true centrist here. In light of the recent unrest in Monte Clara, His Majesty has called for calm and mutual respect among all religious communities. The crown emphasized the importance of unity and compassion, urging both Golcondas and Virtuous leaders to uphold Rizia's values of coexistence. Officials in the Office of Religious Affairs have praised the statement, describing it as measured and dignified to a sensitive situation. Citizens throughout the kingdom are encouraged to follow the example of the crown by seeking harmony over division. And for our allies, the Confederacy now requests more direct involvement from its great allies. The kingdom must decide whether to escalate its involvement by deploying troops. Sending a full division represents a significant commitment and could decisively tip the scales, but also risk greater entanglement in the conflict. Alternatively, a volunteer brigade offers support without a full-scale intervention. However, choosing not to send any forces could weaken Vandal Sam's position and our influence in Grace. How many infantry divisions do I have? I guess I can't see. I think I have like 8, I want to say. You know what? We're gonna send a whole infantry brigade over there. I don't even know what it does, to be honest. Yeah, but I have like 8 of them. I have a lot of troops. You know? Okay, what's going on? I'm guessing, yeah, this is going to be geopolitical. By committing troops to fight on the side of Vandal Sam's besieged prince consort, Rizia has thrown itself into its first armed conflict since its invasion of Palace decades earlier. It remains to be seen whether or not the Rizian troops can turn the tide of the war in favor of its traditional ally, but the situation becoming ever more dire for the Confederacy. At the very least, it signals Rizia's commitment to Grace. And sorry, where is this? This is in Vandal Sam. Is Vandal Sam even on the world map? Vandal Sam, Vandal Sam. There's something here, but I can't see what it is. Vandal Sam. I'm guessing we don't know. Yeah, I'm guessing it's just not on the map at all. Like, in any way, shape, or form. But I'll say it, at least for right now, it's a pretty good time for us to end this episode, so I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't enjoyed, put a thumbs up. Want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.